This morning we're in the orchard and we're going to hear from Pete about how he came across his Nuffield Universal Tractor. Peter, over to you, mate. What is the story? Why are we sat
Why
in
are
an
we sat
orchard?
in the middle of an orchard? This tractor originally was petrol paraffin, made in 1949 and by Nuffield organisation at Ward End, Birmingham. By about 1950, Perkins engines were developing their 62 horsepower Perkins 4-cylinder diesel engine. So BMC had their own 3.8 diesel engine, and therefore they could use that as their factory fitted option.
Yeah.
Perkins, on the other hand, then thought, right, well, we've done the conversion, we know it works, we'll sell it through the Perkins dealerships.
So was it a complete engine swap from?
Yes.
Oh, it was.
Yes.
So you bought a new motor, really?
You bought a packing crate, and in that packing crate was
a
the
brand
engine,
new diesel motor.
Yep, the diesel engine, and anything else that was unique to that conversion.
Was the diesel being fitted to these tractors simply to give them better fuel economy?
Better fuel economy,
yeah,
and more horsepower.
And then I suppose as larger pieces of equipment were attached, it increased the longevity and usability of the tractor.
That's right. Yes, absolutely. Once the conversion was done, and this is one of 2 prototypes.
Wow, so what we're looking at is quite special.
Very special.
Let's get back to the story of you with this tractor. It was on a farm or in a garden, or?
It was in a garden. There was an engineer, a Perkins engineer, who lived in the village, Mr. Derek Lamb, long since passed away, unfortunately.
And he was a Perkins man?
He was a Perkins field test engineer.
So he was confirming that the fit,
was
the
good,
retrospective fit was good, and Perkins had no combatants
against Perkins. Yeah. After the farmer died, and he was a prolific collector of steam engines, tractors, you name it, all sorts. His name was Tom Paisley. And in 1980, they had a 2-day sale at Holywell, and this tractor...
Was this a Cheffins type?
No, well, I
forget,
Eakins Daily, I think, or Eakins did the sale, I think.
Okay.
So, but yeah, similar to an auction house.
Yeah. And
this tractor was in his collection. He was using it as his farm tractor.
Wow.
And Derek went up to the sale and happened to recognise the registration number. Yep, Derek Lamb.
And Derek bought this tractor?
Derek bought this from the auction and then brought it back and put it in his garden. A number of years later, I then got to know Derek, and we got chatting to Derek and asked if he'd sell it to me. And he said, then he told me the story about it being the prototype. And so we had to buy it off him with a suitable increase to justify the prototype part of it. That was in the May of 2006.
And it was in good condition?
No. It was absolutely worn out.
So it was in Derek's garden, it was overgrown, and I'm guessing, without seeing the photo, rusty, and probably didn't look very much
promising.
What we're seeing behind you.
Didn't look very promising.
So what, you and Carol then pulled it out, or your friends?
Friends of ours pulled it out, and myself with Carol pulled it out with her little Dexter. Then I was contacted by a friend who works for Perkins today. Young Edward came to me, he said, Pete, he said, I hear you've bought Derek's Nuffield. This was in the September of 2006. He said, can you get it done for June 2007? That's 9 months away. And when you see the photographs, I'm still to this day, 17 years later, amazed how we did it. We took it down to another friend's yard at a few miles away, and 1 day a week, on a Saturday, we'd go down there all day.
What, a team of you? Like?
Yeah, just 3 of us. And if Carol wasn't working, my wife wasn't working, she'd pop down, and she'd pop down after work sometimes and give us a hand.
What, the wife would get involved with the angle grinder?
Yep, absolutely.
Marvellous.
And we had great fun doing it up, and it was literally pull everything apart.
So the target was this show?
Yep. Perkins, for the first time, actually shut their production line for 1 day, and it was to celebrate Perkins' 75th anniversary. They started in 1932, and this was in 2007, and they were going to have a employees open day, and they wanted some machinery there, vintage and present machinery, of what Perkins engines do and did.
So a bit of a history.
Bit of a history.
Back in time.
Yep.
This was our heritage, sort of.
That's right. And they asked for the Nuffield to go up there, so I'm very honoured that we were able to take it up there and put it on show. My friend low-loaded it up there on a particular Saturday morning. But you've got to remember, this was 1950. Had Nuffields taken the conversion on,
yep,
it would have made it the most powerful British-built tractor on the British market.
This tractor? This
particular tractor. But they didn't come up to the 60 horsepower mark until the 1960s. Nuffields could have had it sort of seven or 8 years before.
Wow.
Had they done so.
Pete, I think it's got to that time during this film that we want to see you start her up and take her for a ride around the orchard, mate.
Here we go.